your eye on the prize.
Okay, this sure does look important. Hello there.
Will be your downfall.
Okay, probably let's be careful of that. Oh, I've been ambushed? Really? This is an ambush? I could see the guys on the map. Whatever. Fucking idiot. What a legend.
It's nothing.
Now, is this tile in it?
Taking calculated risk is my
Evidently,
second nature.
yes. Oh, maybe not, actually. Maybe just because I cut across that? Where exactly is the border on this? Okay. This is going to be a bit of a problem. There's nowhere near enough. I guess we can fall back over there as well. This is an inconvenient area.
A temporary setback.
No, wait, that's gonna go through it, though.
Guided
Unless
by
she goes
faith.
here. Use.
I need your aid.
Alright, you know, that's, you know... You're right. I thought maybe, of course, you have to go like that. I was like, oh, she can go diagonal. No, no. Going diagonal is just doing an L shape. I forgot.
Faith without deeds
That's
is
fine.
worthless.
Fantastic news. Okay.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. It will be done.
Alright, fucking snipers, man. They make it take so long. Alright, now.
I always have a backup plan.
Let's skedaddle. Oh, of course, I didn't loot them. What a fool I am. Not better than mine. Is it better than Abelard's? No. Is it better than... It has to be better than what Agenta has, right? No. Interesting. Surprisingly, it isn't. Never mind that. What about the armor? No. Okay. Screw all that shit. I thought I would given the opportunity to disarm that, but apparently not. Please don't stand there, lads. Mm-hmm.
I always keep my options open.
Mm-hmm. One of y'all, yes, another sniper rifle. I'm not really getting any value out of the shotgun. So let's equip the sniper rifle instead. Yes. More sniper rifles. Is there anyone else that should have one? Her, maybe? It's not like I'm ever gonna send her into melee combat, right? Like, she's a psyker. So rather than maybe, like, those. Granted, it's like... she can cast her spells pretty far away, but, you know... Argenta... no, because Argenta still needs to get kind of close, so she should have a melee as a backup. I guess you, since you've still got a las gun. You know, one of the worst weapons you can have. I might as well take it. I don't know how many more party members we're gonna find.
Over.
These dead heretics are suspiciously different from the others. The symbols on their clothes are drawn wrongly. And standard issue military uniforms show through the blasphemous tatters. Interesting. No,
Rise
don't
to
do
the
that.
top, or
Okay.
get left in the dust.
Great. Is this gonna keep going? Because I kind of thought that the middle path was to, like... oh, no, that's definitely a dead end, actually. What have you got? Yeah, you know.
Compared to naval service, that was barely
What you
a
got?
challenge.
Ooh. Plasma pistol. Question is anybody trained to use plasma weapons? Surely you are. Can be equipped, yes. It's not better than the sniper rifle, which is not a shock. Multi-key, yes. Can you? Probably not. No. Argenta? Nope. Abelard? Nope. Calox? Nope. Okay. You know, we'll take it, obviously, but not too useful right now. A multitude of symbols are carved into the enormous generator. You realize they are the foundational tenets of the Electro-Priest religion. Standing out among them is the triumph of reason over all facets of human nature. That sounds indistinguishable from every other group of Mechanicus, but you know. It's weird. I'm sure that, like, this isn't a new thing, but at the same time, like, I've never heard of, like, Electro Mechanicus priests. The bodies of careless cultists have been thoroughly fried by an arc of the motive force. Hello, Spud. I see you've come to cause trouble, as usual. Dead on time, right after I started. Why must you sit there? There are many other places. No, not the keyboard. Not the keyboard. A crowd of cultists surrounded a tech priest, crucified upon a mechanism. A rhythmic whisper repeated by 100 voices blend into some blasphemous enchantment. Powerful discharges of the motive force run through the machine, causing the unfortunate prisoner's body to convulse brutally and forcing woeful cries of pain from his lips. That's a he. This silhouette looks more feminine to me. The tech priest's hoarse voice echoes under the ceiling. In the clenched claws of stagnation, in the shackles of iteration zero, under the iron wind, let the cycle be discontinued. Pascal's mechadendrites spring into combat mode instantly, and a wrathful rattle comes from his vox. I am registering a severe violation of purity protocol. The blessed Amarnat, yes, has been captured by heretics and is being tortured. Look around the hall. How is he bearing this torture? I mean, you know. The heretics have taken up positions everywhere, and many more are doubtlessly hiding in the passages leading out of the hall. For now, they are all focused on the sacrilegious torture of the tech priest and do not notice you. Well, none of this is honestly irrelevant right now. We must save the esteemed tech priest without risking his life. The mechadendrite points to the corpses of heretics laying nearby. We can use the blasphemer's clothing as a disguise. Unrecognized, we can sabotage the power units, overloading them and thus cleansing the hall of heretics. This is a legendary level of subterfuge for the 40k universe. Not often do you see such a plan being proposed. The lightning discharges have charred the cultist corpses. Whiffs of smoke rise from the empty eye sockets, whose contents have evaporated. Damn. That's a pretty big shot. Their clothes covered in the blood of innocents are crudely painted over with the emblems of the archenemy, which exude a repulsive air of soul decay. I shudder with disgust at the mere thought of having to touch clothing adorned with unholy symbols, let alone wear it. This is the first step toward falling. A small compromise with evil will lead to something greater. Is there truly no other way, Rogue Trader? The signs of the archenemy are not just painted symbols, but conductors of its will. The words of their power even spoken without faith. Their coat of arms, even deceitfully worn. All this increases the presence of the ruinous powers near you and draws their corrupting attention to you. What is the essence of your plan? Uttering a litany of accusation for the power units from the Lumen Deacon's command throne will direct the motive force created by the Blessed Reactor into the hall. The distribution servitor is keeping its output within the set parameters, but upon receiving an order to increase it to peak values, it will turn this place into an electric trap. This is just a servitor, okay. The safety system protecting the hall is controlled from the machine altar, which must be disabled. If all these operations are performed, I can guarantee that not a single blasphemer will survive the Omnissiah's wrath that will be unleashed upon this place. We do not do heresy. Damn, we got 2 heretical options? Holy shit. So, while Argenta and Calux make good points, at the same time, if it helps to save a worthy man, I will put on the cultist's robes. I pray that the Omnissiah gives the blessed Amaranth enough fortitude. Pascal grimaces as a new wail of pain rends the air. Have to do a little load, of course. The heretic's garb clings to your skin like a greedy leech. Tingling and foul fever spread over your body, as though those tatters have imbued the vile contents of their former wearer's soul. Alright, it's time for some sabotage.
Keep your wits about you.
Don't mind me, fellow heretics. A grim-looking heretic walks up to you resolutely, blocking your path. As he studies your disguise with suspicion, you note that his left eye has 2 conjoined irises, while his right eye has 4. I don't know you. Who are you? And why haven't I met you before? Let's see what we got. 75. 80. 64. Coercion it is. I don't know you either. What's with all the questions? Are you the governor's spy? The cultist is taken aback and staggers backwards a little. Fear flashes in his mutated eyes. Ah, to the abyss with you. Go on your merry way, sister. Thanks, brother. Command the phone is not ready for the power unit litany. Of course. A heavy crown of golden neural augments rests upon the servitor's head. The crown is bent and broken from ruthless gun butt blows. The pale body is covered in blasphemous inscriptions carved into the withered flesh. I identify this acolyte as a distribution servitor. I am registering upon it traces of sacrilegious violation of the right of operation. The probability of its responsiveness to commands is below average. 80. 100 it is. Try to conduct a restart ceremony. For the glory of the Omnissiah, let this machine spirit sleep that it may awaken and serve again. Pascal gently touches the servitor's crown, deactivating one of its segments. Let the other neural connection circuits be plunged in darkness. Another touch and several lights on the ground go out. Let the command response hub fall silent. Pascal switches to binaric speech, accompanying his every action with a line from his sacred hymn. It is amazing how the reverent awe in the tech priest's voice can be discerned even through his rattling vox. Suddenly, every light on the servitor's crown comes alive. Ma'am, turning it off and on again sure is complicated, isn't it? A shower of sparks bursts from the augments on the servitor's brow, and several black, ash-tainted tears run from the empty eye sockets. Ready to serve. Energize the hull's power units to maximum. It will be done. Tremendous work, lads. So there's another thing over here, correct? What did I find? I heard a beep. Whatever, we'll find. Oh, it's up there. Okay.
I always keep my options open.
The altar is adorned with gilded skulls. Threads of metal that used to be electrodes are fused onto the bone. Once majestic, the altar has now been desecrated with blasphemous images of blue-green suns. Some of its levers and buttons have been pried from their sockets, but the mechanism still glorifies the Omnissiah with its operation. I identify this as the safety control altar. For our diversion to succeed, this blessed machine must be executed, and may its spirit forgive us. 100. Okay. Cause it to overload. Get to work, Pascal. Pascal offers a short binaric prayer, then enters command after command to set up a trap for the machine spirit inhabiting the altar. The code, born out of the tech priest's tinkering, causes the spirit to flutter confusedly in a snare of impossible commands, heat up the altar's circuit boards, and perish forever in the showers of sparks that burst forth from the melting wires. May we be granted the Omnissiah's forgiveness for this act. I am registering a general shutdown of the security system. Forgive us, Lord. Now. A tech priest's corpse, his throat slit, sits upon the splendid command throne, laced with finely wrought motive force paths. A contorted expression of righteous anger is frozen on his face. A black blindfold covers his eyes. This is the Lumen Deacon's command throne. This is where the power unit actuation and shutdown litanies are recited from. The blessed Lumen Deacon himself has the honor of closing the circuit the motive force flows through. 85? Pretty good. Sit down upon the throne and recite the litany of actuation. I am about to be greatly honored or else thoroughly charred. Maybe both. As soon as you lay your hands to the command throne's panel, a painful sting of electricity numbs your senses for an instant. Your fingers cramp and your vision grows dim.
Brush this off.
Pain is visible in the tech priest's eyes as he looks upon the sacrilege. Forgive us, Omnissiah, for such a gross violation of the right of operation. Repeat the litany after me and activate the command runes I point to. Pascal's vox starts reciting the sacred words, gloomily and hoarsely. Clinging on to the blazing shards of your fading consciousness, you repeat the words of the litany after Pascal and touch the command runes, as the unabating lightning rips through your muscles and makes your bones crackle. I am recording a successful activation of the power units. Excellent work, boys. I'd chalk that up as a smashing success. It does not look like it's changed my gear back. Oh no, it did. Okay.
Rise to the top.
Well, we'll be right with you, sir. I have just leveled up. You understand how these things are, of course. Let's see. Right, I already have this feature. Always condemned. Contempt. An enemy attacks the warrior. Right. Let's do enrage. Weapon skill. Great, that was a straightforward one. Pascal. Logic. What's his intelligence? 30 compared to 35? Or 50 compared to 35, sorry. What does perception do, exactly? Perceives their surroundings, Is this also dodge? Yes, it is. Then let's do a bit of perception. Gadaria. Again, you know. What was this? Freedom soldier gains. Oh yeah, let's do that. Agility. Then just do enrage for you as well. We continue to do the same things. Toughness. And you don't have epicenter of slaughter, so let's get that. Weapon skill is the higher one, so let's do toughness. Great. That was a straightforward one for a change. What do you boys got? This is a Retobi pattern lasgun. Okay, well, I'll take all of them, you know. I don't think that those are going to be better than anything anybody has right now, but let's give it a check. 6 to 8. Well, it is better than my pistol, but, you know, what can you do? You have a sniper rifle. Is it better than yours? Surely not. It's actually close, but no. You also have a sniper rifle. And you're good.
Let us not dawdle.
Alright, hold on. I'm coming, brother. In the cycles of the foreordained, there lurks a flaw of worship. The tech priest's body convulses. Pained, plaintive creaks of binaric prayers come from his vox. As moments pass, the signal becomes less and less clear, as if something twisted and wrong were being added to it. Pascal studies the tech priest's face carefully. His vox system moans in a tragic vibrata? Subject unidentified. This is not the blessed Amaranth. Stranger, I request your name. How do you know my mentor's motto? Who are you, servant of the Omnissiah? The fire of the earth sent forth sparks. The name of this spark is Abel Hanuman. The tech priest looks over at Pascal. For a brief moment, his speech becomes clear. The echo of my call has reached you. Good. The iteration is at its end. The design is fulfilled. What is the intention? Why are you calling yourself by my name? Was it you who summoned me to Rykad Minoris? What for? I categorically demand an answer. Pascal's voice raises to an intimidating howl, but the delirious tech priest does not seem to understand what he is saying. What design? An intention both bold and honorable, to open new gates for the waters of knowledge and comprehension, a plan written that the righteous may follow. And trust in the great pattern of revelation and uniform progression toward it. Pascal's voice is trembling with elation. Those are his words. I have not heard them in so very long. Ask him about Amaranth. You came here because of him, after all. No. The tech priest's weak voice grows stronger. He came because of himself. Myself? To redeem myself? To correct a mistake? Possibly. But how do you... There's a look of gentle condescension in Abel's eyes. Strange given the circumstances. The hubris of the mind spurs him to build monuments to himself. Do not regret, for all is predetermined by the iteration. A devastating coughing fit cuts him off, and you hear a clang of tearing metal from inside his chest. You can talk once we get him out of here. A cold premonition takes the heart. The probabilities are dark and frightening. Brother, I do not wish to gaze into them. We are the flame of knowledge that drives the darkness away. Pascal is quickly inspecting Abel's wounds, paying no mind to the blood and sacred unguents staining his sleeves. His vox raspers soothingly. Do not fear what is to come, brother. We are already here. Examine. There are deep burns all over his flesh, and the skin around his augments is charred. Blasphemous spells have been carved into his sacred iron, forming unholy litanies of scrap code. It is amazing how robust this tech priest's life support systems have proven to be in maintaining the spark of life in his grievously wounded body. Do you know him, Pascal? The subject has not been identified and has no record in my catalog. Interrogation is impossible due to the subject's evidence of active state of clouded consciousness. Try to take the tech priest down. As soon as you touch the tech priest's battered flesh, he shifts his gaze to you and says with sudden clarity, Many sparks have gone out, but not all. The electric shepherds are alive. In the darkness, I heard their prayers. Find them, save them, recite the hymn of contact circuit restoration, so that you may behold what is hid. A blast of motive force runs down the tech priest's body, and his face contorts in a mocking grimace. Malformed binaric code, repulsively jarring on the ears, pours out of his vox. Information archived to the effect that the circuit restoration hymn is the entrance password to the electro priest's hiding place. Pascal responds with the dour rhythms of a containment aria. I note with great sorrow that the cultist's ritual has been partially successful. My tech brother has been tainted by corruption. He is in the grip of a schismatical, an unholy imitation of a machine spirit. I request immediate activation of the Texorcism protocol? Or what's a schismatical? An ugly mockery of a noble machine spirit, corrupted by the warp. Sometimes a few lines of despicable scrap code, or a small clump of the motive force falls under the arch-enemy's influence and degenerates into an abomination of this sort, one whose very existence is an insult to the Omnissiah's wisdom. I shall help save him. The possessed man responds with a burst of repulsive laughter. Every now and then a word or two of Gothic finds its way into the binaric obscenities pouring out of the vox, in what seems to be his schismatical tentative forays into a language that is alien to him. Gothic doesn't get an entry. That's interesting. Gothic's the language that the Imperium speaks. There's two variations, Low Gothic and High Gothic. High Gothic is the one the upper class uses, and Low Gothic is, of course, the opposite. It's surprising that it doesn't have an entry for Gothic, but it's had one for, like, augments, which I would have thought was pretty self-explanatory. His body convulses. His joints twist at an unnatural angle with the sound of bursting steel couplings. As the possessed man thrashes about, his internal augments emerge gradually through the hanging tatters of his flesh, as though an iron homunculus hidden inside the tech priest were trying to cast off the meat cocoon it no longer needed. Pascal's mechadendrites extend a thin drilling needle. Sacred unguents glisten on it. A code purification aria is heard as the needle sinks into the possessed tech priest's skull and touches his neural augmetic, yes, forming an electric current with it. Extreme strain is visible on his face. Furious litanies pour out of his vox. Result, failure. Requesting assistance. 175, alright. Send a purifying charge of the motive force into the possessed man's body. May the machine god heal you. Undaunted, you grab one of the severed cables and press it into the tech priest's body, and a shock of formidable power shakes the possessed man. Machine oil gushes out of his mouth. His vox hisses deafeningly as the flow of the motive force burns the corruption in his sacred iron. The overload destroys some of the circuit bonds of his neural augmetic, resets his code, and erases the schismatical from existence. The tech priest's eyes roll up and he loses consciousness, crushed yet still alive, and no longer in the thrall of corruption. With the utmost care, Pascal takes the body down from the mechanism and lays it on the floor. His stirring litanies of gratitude to the Omnissiah echo through the hall. Great job, team. Rest, Tech Brother. We will come back for you when we have done our duty to the miraculous fusion reactor. Lord Captain, the Omnissiah commands a pious mind to strive toward uncovering the truth. Therefore, I will not stop until I find my mentor and understand his connection to this servant of the machine god. I request the privilege of joining your retinue as a rightful companion. I can offer to fulfill the duties of an engineer on your ship in exchange for the right to follow you and conduct my own investigation. Now, I am pretty sure we've already had this conversation, Pascal. Second point, what the fuck's wrong with the items received? I guess because he's already joined us, but like, why is this like this? You have to meet Pascal before you can get to this point. So, whatever. You know, that's fine. Oh, Christ. I don't really want any of that, if I'm being honest with you. What you got over here? Tremendous. Alright, boys. Well, I'd say we've done a bang-up job in this room. Tremendous. Yet more goods. Oh, right, the hidden one up there. I nearly forgot.
Is there money to be made?
That's it? God damn it. Every time it's a hidden chest, I expect something better, you know? Oh. This is where we were earlier. Well, where the fuck are we going, then? Haven't we been everywhere, in that case?
My
Oh,
options open.
The circular cogitator, the Electro Priest's hiding place, must be nearby. What's going on over there, you horrible cats? Alright, these goddamn cats. Alright. Boys, why are you over there? The machine alter accepts the contact circuit restoration hymn. Alright, great.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Well, there sure is a lot of boys in here. How y'all doing? A shortish. Shortish is just not a word I expected to have read there, to be honest. A shortish muscular man wearing the scarlet colors of the priesthood of Mars steps into your path. The wrinkles on his cheeks and forehead point to the propensity for frequent outbursts of fierce anger, but right now he is showing no sign of aggression. Glowing blue patterns of electric tattoos or electrues show through his oddly bluish-tinted skin. The man's eye sockets are dark and empty, yet he turns his face straight towards you with no hesitation. He has a sharp, screeching voice, not unlike a bird's cawing.
May the charge of the Omnissiah's mercy persist in the hands of the faithful.
May the motive force persist in their batteries. Make the sign of the Aquila. The Emperor protects. The man responds curtly as if giving a military command.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. The hallowed electrodynamic cenobium receives you, pilgrim. I am Da Impulse the Sixth, a servant of the motive force, and the praetor electroid of this sacred monastery.
Great angle there. Pascal bows down humbly before the man. A trill of binaric signals comes from his vox, to which the praetor responds with a solemn gesture of blessing. Pascal turns to you and says, "The rank of praetor electroid is a sign of high standing within the electric priest fraternity. To have been granted an audience is a great honor. You have the honor of hosting the rogue trader of House von Valancius. I urge you to follow proper etiquette when interacting with the eminent bearer of the sacred warrant."
Within these walls, worldly titles are nothing before the motive force. Your deeds, however, speak far louder than titles, for your path here is sprayed with the blood of desecrators.
Dar Impulse the Sixth. It was you, was it not, that Logus Abel came seeking an interpretation of his data trance?
Yes, Tech Brother Abel arrived here to engage in a magnetic meditation that would help clarify his visions. Unfortunately, the heretic's machinations prevented us from completing the ritual. The esteemed Logus volunteered his help in defending the monastery, but contact with him was lost soon after.
Tell me more about Logus.
We did not speak much to each other. He preferred to devote his time to solitary reflections in his chapel. The Omnissiah has given Tech Brother Abel a gift of great insight, which allows him to discern each individual facet of existence rather than the overall view. This makes his logic different from that of other people. His mind has always been able to combine facts and conclusions into harmonious wholes that were nothing short of beautiful. Many among my flock found his sermons poetic.
What kind of visions was he receiving?
The Omnissiah's revelation was encrypted with great meticulousness, which indicates its great importance. Grasping it fully is beyond my ability, but a single touch was enough for me to realize the enormity of the secret combined within.
Combined within? I'm stupid.
Or, more exactly, the secret design, which was how Tech Brother Abel was referred to it. His mind had discerned in the world around him traces of some grand silence that he wished to comprehend.
I've rescued him from the insurgents.
I hope the Omnissiah preserves Tech Brother Abel's life, that he may continue to comprehend the mysteries he has tapped into.
Why are you calling me a pilgrim?
Only those lay people who desire to experience the motive force are allowed to cross this monastery's threshold. All others are profaners and criminals. You do not belong to the fraternity of electro-priests, but your intentions are good. If you are not seeking the Omnissiah's wisdom, then it was the motive force itself that brought you here to find it.
I have some questions about this place and the people in it.
Truth is like light, and blocking its path is criminal.
The Praetor Electroid nods majestically. Who are you?
The hard-working servants and dwellers of the Cenobium, electro-priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Corpuscari did us a great honor by entrusting into our care the sacred relic around which the hollowed electrodynamic Cenobium was built.
What precisely do you believe in?
We have devoted ourselves to the worship that aspect of the machine god, which is known as the motive force. It is the blessed divine spark that creates impetus in the universe. The Omnissiah, in his mercy, gave the world the gift of the motive force, and we follow its impulses in order to increase it, bring it to lay people, and protect it from unholy hands. The relic that this monastery protects provides the entire planet of Rykad with the blessed motive force, and we, unworthy though we are glad to serve the ancient machine that dwells in this place.
Tell me more about your relic.
It would be pointless to describe the miraculous fusion reactor. Only through beholding its ferocious power can one comprehend its blessed essence and fear the might of the Omnissiah. Its core was found 4,000 years ago and delivered to Rykad by the holy warrior of faith, Loch Impulse, the first, during one of his campaigns. Its sacred spark has not gone out for an instant, and the walls and power units of this Cenobium have been erected around the relic in order to protect it from ignorant lay people, as well as protect them from its formidable might.
Pascal keeps his solemn silence, but the quick clicking of his mechadendrite claws betrays his excitement at being so close to the sacred archaeotech. We have looked at this, right? An incredibly rare and powerful piece of technology from humanity's ancient past. You're not like the other members of the Adeptus Mechanicus I have met.
Our faith imposes a duty of obedience on us. Every electro-priest is given numerous electros that combine into a blessed voltagast circuit, allowing feeble flesh to withstand the might of the motive force. That is why our skin glows with its light, and our eyes boil and melt when we are ordained. The Omnissiah's tears is what we call the phenomenon, this dying away of unworthy flesh, as we shun the layperson's primitive means of looking at the world. We gain the ability to sense the motive force around us and with our bodies.
I understand everything. What happened here, and how did you manage to survive?
When the heretics descended in droves upon the Cenobium, we gave battle, but the unholy foes buried the Omnissiah's warriors under a mass of their bodies, thus extinguishing the defenders' sparks of purity. It was then that I ordered my few surviving brethren to retreat into the monastery's secret chambers. Upon taking refuge there, we began to destroy the blasphemous intruders in surreptitious ways.
Surreptitious? Yes.
Alas, as fiery as my brethren's anger was, I had no right to permit them to die in honest combat, for the task of taking back our abode still lay ahead of us.
I must commend the skill with which your secret chambers are concealed. You hear a tinge of wounded pride in Henrix's words, as if he is upset about failing to discover the Electro-Priest's shelter. Your choice of tactics was wise as well. There was no point in losing more lives in the massacre than the cultist wrought.
The leader of the heretics fought her way into the Ark wherein dwells the miraculous fusion reactor. She is trying to desecrate the rite of operation with her unholy litanies so that the relic may be corrupted and the world of Reicadman Norse may perish in a font of fire. But my brethren, in their magnetic meditation, are hampering her efforts by chanting access request prayers in unison, thereby suppressing the commands that the blasphemers enter.
Praetor Electroid nods toward his entranced comrades. This holy place will be protected against sacrilegious practices. I swear it. In the monastery, I was attacked by people who looked like electro-priests.
This is a lamentable mistake. We knew of no help that was on its way, and were not expecting to encounter any allies in the monastery's chambers. But I see that you are alive, and I mourn the senseless deaths of my brethren.
I wonder if you would be so touchingly mourned by the Lord Captain's death, or if such sentiments would have only awoken by the sound of our void ship delivering a punitive strike from orbit. You know, I like how there's always one that's just like, be needlessly antagonistic, you know. My enforcers and the governor's guards can help you reclaim the monastery.
I cannot allow this. Lay people are forbidden from visiting the monastery, and only a select few are allowed to behold the Ark and the relic within. You and your retinue are pilgrims of a special status bestowed by the Emperor. However, should any soldier unblessed by the Omnissiah cross this monastery's threshold, I will deem them a heretic and have them put to death.
Now, that's fucking great and all, King. Absolutely. However, both I and Calox have control. So, we should be able to just tell you to shut the fuck up. Calox, in particular, should be able to do this. Confirmed. The presence of lay people on monastery grounds without the Praetor Electroid's blessing will be regarded as a sacrilegious violation of the holy rite of operation. Henrix opens his mouth for a second to say something, but changes his mind and quietly clears his throat instead. He wanted to. This is a problem the Inquisition has with the Mechanicus quite frequently, which is the fact they're all obviously heretics, but they don't really have any choice in the matter. They have to play nice, because otherwise none of their shit works. No one outside of the Mechanicus know how a Baneblade works, and it's just not, no guard is fixing it. Sure, better to die protecting their lumens and coils than to accept help from unworthies, and we're left to deal with the mess as usual. You made the right decision to avoid combat and save yourselves.
Thank you, Pilgrim. It was not easy watching unholy intruders stampede through the chambers of my temple. We all envied our brethren who had fallen before that sacrilege began.
I wish to get to the holy reactor.
The Ark is hidden from Pilgrim's eyes, but considering the extraordinary circumstances of your visit to this monastery, I grant you that right. The hall that leads to the High Reliquary has been barred by the enemy, but I will open a secret path for you. Enter the Ark and experience the motive force, Pilgrim. We will pray to the security systems that may refrain from punishing you for intrusion.
So you're not going to come with me, then? You know? This is kind of a big deal. And you're not going to come? I get that these others are doing some nebulous task and all, but you could come with me, surely.
May the charge of the Omnissiah's grace persist in the batteries of the faithful.
Rise to the top.
Yeah, ma'am.
Or get
Good
left
talk.
in the dust.
The fuck is this? Oh, right, of course. Alright, well, in we go.
The bowels.
Remember to stay hydrated. Didn't have to load, I'm surprised. Alright.
Keep your wits about you.
Alright, guess that door's not opening. The face of the woman who stands before you is hidden behind a grotesque barred mask, yet the voice pouring out it beneath it belongs to someone else. It is the husky, somber bass of a void wolf, a boarder of ships. How predictable your path is, how static. All the possible deaths you have skirted only to perish here in the fiery tempest that will mark the final dawn. The woman turns her mask to Pascal and gloats. You have arrived just in time, little cog. The schismaticals use your regalia like a mask to subdue the reactor. Pascal Fox rasps musingly. A cog? I cannot comprehend why apostates try to insult me by comparing me to the sacred symbol of our faith. It is irrational. His visor lights up like a crimson herald of bloodshed, and his drilling mechadendrite whirs viciously as it readies to strike. The sacred cog grinds all corruption to dust. From the dust, I will build order. Silence, heretic, your crazed preaching will not touch my mind. Do you cling to your blindness so desperately? Do you think it will protect you from the blinding radiance of the truth? The woman's voice breaks and shifts to a different pitch and timbre, a martyr's voice, young, fervent, and in pain. Time has all but run out. I can hear the fist of the future knocking on the door of the present. Choose quickly what you want to be when it walks in. A blind slave to what is gone, a faithful servant of what is to come, or a corpse. I would take some time to wrest from you the details of the future that the cult prophesizes. Hopefully, when we are done, what's left of you will still be capable of coherent speech. What you'll be is a living torch blazing for his glory. Argenta's voice burns with pure hatred and trembles with impatience to make the promise come true. Who are you? My name is known to you. I am Aurora, servant of Urlan the Cruel, and the spark of the final dawn that is destined to set Rykad Minoris ablaze. A great path for one who was born into the Imperium's bondage but shunned her predestination in favor of the changes promised by the Edge of Daybreak. Whose servant are you? Is Urlan a daemon or just another heretic? Resounding laughter comes from behind the mask. Your flippancy is most amusing. Why, you've no inkling of the chasm that separates us. He is a prophet who foresaw our impending doom, and who graciously bestowed upon us the right to choose a different path. He is a shard of ancient wisdom from a time before we were slaves to our bitter predestination. Rogue trader, I can't wait to close this creature's mouth with the seal of death. Or are you saving the glorious deed for yourself? The Edge of Darkness, is that your unholy patron? Our teacher, our savior, our merciful God, born in the Immaterium out of the woes of those laboring under a legacy of ignorance and servitude. You cannot see the woman's face behind her mask, but judging by the tone of malicious triumph, you could swear she is smiling. And he remembers you, Ophelia von Valancius. The silly savior fantasy you've been acting out amuses the true masters of those people's fates. So what is it, the final dawn? Is that all your followers ever talk about? Salvation from a death whose name is yet unknown, but whose approach is sensed by many. Soon it will claim every inhabitant of the Coronis Expanse. Do you think anyone will come to our aid when cataclysms shake our homes and planet-wide genocides are unleashed? Will the Emperor help? Or the idol of iron they call the Omnissiah? No. We'll die alone and abandoned. Only one deity is promising salvation. The Edge of Daybreak. Mercy and salvation will come to all who believe in him, and to purify their souls in the light of the final dawn. What servitude are you talking about? What predestination? Everyone born in the Imperium has a predestination. The soldier, the commoner, the administratum official. Pause. Adeptus Administratum, the bureaucratic organization of the Imperium responsible for levying tithes, distributing resources, and performing countless other administrative functions. The Technomat, the Void Rat, all are consigned to serving the Golden Throne, and then dying a grim death for its glory. The Imperium never thinks twice about treating people as exploitable and expendable. After all, they are the most easily replenished of all resources. Even your path is predestined, rogue trader. You will inevitably perish on your quest to expand humanity's domain, and your end will be particularly grim and ghastly. The fruits of your efforts will be enjoyed by others, the eternal aristocrats who dwell on Mars, Terra, and other safe worlds. They insist that is the natural order of things, but that's a lie. It's an order that benefits them. Why are you blinding people? Do you think they are blind? They see far more than you do, through reflections in mirrors blessed by the energies of the Immaterium. The Edge of Daybreak reveals to them visions of true existence and gives them glimpses of what is to come. The eyes lie. Our erstwhile masters have taught them to see only what is consistent with the lies they tell. The gifts we give is that of true sight. The woman takes a glass prism out of the folds of her clothes and looks at you through it with a mocking chuckle. The prism's bluish-pink sheen imprints itself onto your retinas as though it has been burned into them. Guess what I see when I look at you. In that case, you could consider losing the eyes too, sister, because your visions are all wrong. My whispers are telling me something completely different about who dies here and how. I won't spoil the surprise, so let's just say it will come as quite a shock to you. Idaria grins maliciously. I think that's enough heretical talk. Conversations about truth always frighten ignorant minds. Your people wanted my head. Why? Brother Twilight, known to you as Conrad, marked you as a target. Your foiling of his plans sealed your death warrant. It's now that a predestined certainty that changes can no longer affect. Are you trying to blow up the reactor? I am lighting the spark of the final dawn. Sometimes the future revealed in the Edge of Daybreak's visions is fragmented between the facets of possibility, and the view is unclear. I've glimpsed the importance of this place for what is to come, and I've solved the puzzle. The flash of purity will transform this world and bring it closer to the immaterium, in which it will be reborn. False believers will perish in the fire, whilst the faithful will find their salvation and their new form in it. You will never tame the spirit of this ancient and noble machine, ignorant layperson. It does have a vile temper, but I have assistants who can help tame it. The woman nods casually toward the maimed electro-priests whose hands are affixed to the control panel with steel spikes. One of the servants of the Omnissiah casts a tortured glance towards you, his voice trembling with horror.
Blasphemous spirits have crawled under our skin and into our sacred iron. Take the motive force of our bodies, I implore you. We do not wish to offend the Omnissiah with the sacrilege our hands are committing.
They resisted for a long time, but now their bodies and souls belong to the schismaticals. Line after line, the scrap of code they produce will awaken the reactor's unyielding spirit as well. And it, too, will yearn for change and freedom. Enough. I'll rid my Rykad Minoris of your tyranny. The woman's voice becomes thin and brittle like that of an innocent child. Execute them in the name of the Edge of Daybreak. The electro-priests rip their hands off the command panels, rending their flesh on the stakes that pierce them. As their schismatical-controlled bodies are imbued with the motive force's radiance, all the unfortunates can do is scream in horror and plead for a swift death. Aurora begins muttering an unholy litany in broken Gothic. You cannot make out her blasphemous words, but the name of the heretic keeps repeating, the Edge of Daybreak. Digs into your hearing like a blade into defenseless flesh. Its sound is almost physically painful. It spawns strange and impossible phantoms in your mind. However, you manage to muster your strength and banish it from your mind.
I'll make an example
Alright.
out of you.
Here we go.
Show them no mercy.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Alright, we got a lot of boys around here. To be honest, seems kind of good. Let's get these boys a bit more in there. And you, well, me, over here. And you can tuck. Let's go. Pascal. Debuff all the boys. Can't attack her right now. Anybody important over here? Probably just the electro piece. Great. These fucking cats. Stop what you're doing.
No.
Let's go.
Enough.
Now an aged, rattling voice speaks to you from behind the bloodstained mask.
You are powerless to halt the approach of what is to come. I see a crimson trail leading humanity to its doom. I see the glow of the final dawn, and that means existence has made its choice.
A dagger flashes in Aurora's hand. She drives it into the control panel with all her strength.
Now you will see it too!
A blinding voltic arc bursts forth from the broken control panel and strikes at Aurora's uncanny mask. Its metal heats up, smoke billows through the bars. With a howl, the cultist collapse.
The light is gone. Was that it? The final dawn? But why was it so different from what our teacher promised?
Aurora shakes her head blindly, her voice now the voice of an ordinary middle-aged woman, frightened and in pain.
You'll pay for this. You will. You.
The woman's body goes limp and collapses to the floor. Her iron mask hits the ground with a dull thud. Pascal examines the corpse with contempt, then concludes dryly, confirming purgation and termination. Henrix grimaces in disgust. The heretic took her secrets with her. Pity. I said it would come as a shock to her, didn't I? Her eyes literally sparked with astonishment. Idaria's smug grin gives way to an expression of concern. That said, my friends from behind the door won't calm down. They keep sneering and guffawing as if the joke's on us and not her. Henrix approaches Aurora's body and leans over it. A minute, please, Ophelia. I need no more than a minute. Inspect the control panel. Not great, but let's do it. The cogitator is probably well beyond repair, but your attention is drawn away from the sacred machine and toward the dagger sticking out of the control panel. On closer inspection, it turns out to be a lavishly decorated handguard of a sword whose blade has been pried out. Oh. Its pommel is decorated with a strange adornment resembling an eye covered by a scaled lid. What remains of the blade has a blue sheen to it, the same tint as Kunrad's weapon during the mutiny on your void ship. It's no human-made object. It was grown from wraithbone, a material favored by the Eldari. Wraithbone, an Eldari material composed of crystallized psychic power, or energy, used in the creation of everything from art pieces to craft worlds. Eldari, an ancient and highly advanced alien race that once dominated the galaxy. They're elves. They're high elves. As you lean over the sacred shard... Ooh, bit of a Freudian slip. As you lean over the shard, you suddenly hear a multitude of voices. They blend together and individual words are distorted, as though they are mocking your attempts to grasp their meaning. The nagging whisper is like the burning red scratch of an unholy claw upon your mind. Toss the shards into the depths of the reactor. There will be no heresy here, brothers. As you touch the handguard, an otherworldly cold envelops your hand for a mere instant. As in the very next second, you send the corrupted weapon flying into the shining abyss. The terrible wail of several dozen voices pierces your mind for a moment, only to turn into a deafening shriek and break off as a clap of electricity is heard somewhere beneath your feet. So we actually just killed several Eldari souls. They use, like, souls in everything. They're kind of weird, you know? Elves. What was that? Henrix appears behind you. Did you think it was a good idea to throw something into the reactor? I'd refrain from such experiments if I were you. Rogue Trader, on behalf of the Holy Orders, I thank you for your cooperation and release you from requisition. From this moment on, I am at your service. I am ready to come aboard your ship and head for Football as soon as you deem it possible. That is, if you do not have other business in this system, in which case I am prepared to assist you in its prompt resolution. Remove Aurora's mask. The iron helmet is firmly attached to the heretic's flesh. Her face is impossible to make out in the darkness behind the bars of her mask, but after peering at it for a little longer than necessary, you wonder if, for a moment, you saw something move. Let us finish cleansing the monastery, Pascal. Executing. Let the Omnissiah-given motive force flow and all obstacles in its path be eradicated. Great. Oh, I guess we did it.
I always have a backup plan.
What you got on you? All attacks of opportunity deal additional ability damage. Okay. Blasphemous prism. A glass prism crafted by the cultists of the Final Dawn. It belonged to their leader, Aurora. If you look through it long enough, your vision begins to deceive your mind, showing what could be instead of what is. Conviction heretical? Well, that's a shame, isn't it now? I can't... Oh no, I've been looking at the wrong thing. Who do we want to give these to? I guess the tech use isn't super useful for me. I might as well put those on Pascal. There we go. Alright, let's just have a little once-over before we leave. You never know. Nope. Anything laying around? Nope.
I always keep my options open.
Wanna succeed on any perception checks to find some hidden loot, perhaps? Maybe, somewhere? No, you're not feeling it? You know, that's okay. You know, I'm not disappointed or anything, you know. It's fine, really.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Alright. Good news, boys. We've saved the planet. Oh my god.
The hallowed electrodynamic cenobium greets its savior.
Oh, thank you.
Rise to the top.
Goodbye.
Or get left in the dust.
Well, great job, team. Time to head home. Then we can go and find out what fucking shit's going down on the other planets. Nothing good, I can tell you that much.
Rogue Trader. I was somewhat brusque at our first meeting, and I would like to make up for it by expressing my thanks for your assistance in the electrodynamic cenobium. Your arrival could not have come at a better time.
Was pronouncing it wrong. God, what a shock. I never saw that coming.
Unfortunately, my personal investigation has hit a dead end. I think I will have to call upon outside resources to continue the search.
I have something to confess. I discovered some kind of chaos artifact in the Cenobium's cogitator, and I deemed it necessary to dispose of it.
What? All right. All right. At the very least, the object of corruption, if that is indeed what it was, has been destroyed. This is a satisfactory outcome.
I knew he wouldn't like it, but I thought it was better to do that than lie, and maybe he finds out about the fact I lied.
There is one more thing. The Lord Inquisitor gave me this item some time ago. He must have thought it likely that I would find myself aboard this vessel sooner than he. I was instructed to deliver this device to Lady Theodora. However, given recent events, I believe I ought to present it to you. This is an elucidator, a sacred machine capable of translating the languages of remote and lost worlds into Low Gothic. It can even process Xenos languages to a certain degree. Not without infelicities, but possibly well.
Strange choice for your first love token.
It's not. It is not a love token, Lord Captain. It is a rare and valuable device that will be a useful tool in the hands of the Rogue Trader.
Henrix cuts you a glance, one which you suddenly realize is charged with a strange, almost personal interest, before deferentially averting his gaze. Okay, I meant that as a joke. Please do not want to fuck. I have no interest in you, I'm sorry. Well, my heart belongs to my beloved Argenta. Will she love us in return? Probably not. But that's okay, such is life.
Apologies in advance if I unknowingly violate the protocol for conversing with someone of your elevated status. I think a slip in composure is to be expected when one is hosted personally in the Lord Captain's study.
Conversing with you is no less disconcerting for me, Master von Kalux.
After serving in the Holy Ordos all these years, I'm used to people being wary of me.
Not only that, but you're an interrogator. You know, you're not even a regular inquisitor. By your personality. One cannot blame the Imperium citizens for fearing the Inquisition.
Such a fear sometimes indicates that a person has something to hide. Lack of guilt proves nothing. Even thoughts can be dangerous heresy.
The, official, tagline for the Inquisition is, in Latin, but it translates into innocence proves nothing, which I think is fucking perfect. Sums up the whole organization right there. What do you plan to do now?
I would like to offer my assistance in resolving your immediate problems. I am aware that the ship suffered considerable losses during the recent mutiny and was damaged by the cultists' actions, and you have lost many valuable officers as well. You are in a difficult situation.
What do you...
I am at your disposal.
Oh, fuck. What do you think will become of the electrodynamic cenobium?
It all depends on the electro-priests who survived the attack. Fortunately for them, the cultists did not manage to seriously corrupt the holy site, partly thanks to the priesthood's efforts. Nevertheless, I would not be surprised if the local explorator fleet decides to audit and purge the damaged units once it hears about what has happened.
I must return to my duties. Hendrix is about to say something else when he is interrupted by the sound of a Vox signal. Someone is trying to contact you.
Thank you for your time. Please consider me at your complete disposal while I am aboard your vessel.
Really, you don't have a voice actor? Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I already knew this, but it's just weird.
Congratulations on the victory, your ladyship. The entire vessel was impatiently waiting the news of your expedition's success. Oh, fuck. The rumors about you are not simply saving the Tech-Priest monastery, but actually eliminating the source of the mutiny are spreading like wildfire. The Vox transmissions from across the world speak of nothing more. Governor Medea is waiting for you in the command center to discuss matters, but I asked you delay the visit and turn your gaze to the Novus Nobilites station instead. We are in desperate need of a new navigator, but all our communication requests are still being ignored. I do not see how anything other than a personal visit from a woman of your stature can convince the representatives of the Novus Nobilite to break their silence.
Understood, brother. We will go there next. Oh, hello. Oh. I see. Here I was thinking this would actually be some kind of lore. Alright. Let's go to the Nobilite station. No doubt something terrible is happening over there as well.